statement read is a part of the Historic District Commission. The qualifications of the members of the commission, the staff of the commission, and any consultants used are on file with the town and are hereby made part of each and every application heard tonight. The guidelines and procedures adopted by the commission are also made part of each and every application. Each application heard tonight is considered on its own merits and is not to be considered as establishing a precedent for any other application. The Historic District Design Guidelines have been adopted by the Town of Sykesville in accordance with Article 6B 8.06a of the Maryland Code and follow the recommendations of the United States Secretary of the Interior. The Sykesville Historic District Commission follows Robert's Rules of Order with the exception that the chairperson votes. Okay, did you guys have an opportunity to look at the meeting minutes from July 24th, 2024? Okay, is there any modifications or addendums to that meeting minutes? Okay?
No.
Is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes from July 24th, 2024?
Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from July 24th, 2024.
Is there a second?
I wasn't there, but I reviewed them, so
why don't we do it
Yeah, that is a good question. We can kick it to next meeting.
Okay.
We don't have to approve them this evening.
Okay, all right.
So we can kick that to next meeting, just make sure we have enough folks who are here,
Okay, great. All right, so without further discussion, let's move forward to application 2023-10 for building renovations at 7611 Main Street. Do you want to read the staff report, Kevin?
Yeah, so this one is the resubmittal of a previously approved application, and I'll go through it quickly just because I know some folks on the HCC I don't think were there or on the committee during that time. So as you mentioned, the property owner 7611 is resubmitted an application that was previously approved in July of last year to complete some renovations on the north-facing facade of the structure. It just needs to be reviewed again since the original approval was over a year ago, and the work hasn't been completed. So there's a couple things in the application that HEC needs to approve, and then there are a few additional things that we don't actually have to approve, but we can mention as well. So HEC, what we are approving is removal of the existing D111 siding, resurfacing the wall underneath, replacing the existing windows with windows of a similar style using a composite material, which was shown in the application. Replacing the double doors to match the existing doors using the same casing as proposed for the windows, including the color, and then replacing the floodlights by the business door and adding a matching light to illuminate the staircase. And then there were several other changes which we don't actually need to approve, which includes removing the protruding elements from the wall, power washing, painting around the top moon window, painting the body of the building, and adding flower pots to the ramps and stairs. So some quick background on the building, and a lot of this will be the same for the next one as well. So hopefully we can get it out of the way here. So the structure was built in 1949, and it's considered a non-contributing building to the historic district. The property owner is in the process of rehabbing the building to be used for retail, office, and residential purposes. And all the requested renovations in this application were previously approved, as I mentioned during the July 2023 HDC meeting. So quickly, I'll just go through the relevant info from the HCC guidelines for each component. Removing the siding to expose the original concrete masonry. So the recommended action there is to remove modern coverings and materials applied over the original masonry, and then to repair or replace any damaged or missing masonry units underneath using materials to match the original. Replacing the existing windows. So I'm not sure if this is applicable in this sense, but it is not recommended to use metal or vinyl clad windows to replace wood windows, but I don't think they have wood windows there now. And replacement windows for non-contributing buildings should be compatible with the overall character of the front facade or the elevation in which they're located. So that is the important component here. Same thing for replacing the doors. So replacement doors for non-contributing buildings should just be compatible with the overall character of the facade in which they're located. And then replacing the floodlights by the business door and adding a matching light to illuminate the staircase. The applicant noted that both lights will be equipped with dusk to dawn motion sensors for security purposes. And the guidelines do say that security lights are allowed in the historic district, and they can be wall or eave mounted, they can be on the ground, freestanding on a pole, but it is recommended to minimize and conceal their installation as much as possible by selecting adequate size, glare guards, and motion sensitive fixtures, which is that they're gonna have. So HGC action, the HGC is just being asked to determine if the requested alterations to 7611 Main Street are appropriate or suggest alternative actions. But considering the non-contributing status of the building and the fact that all requested items were previously approved last year, staff does recommend approval or reapproval of application 2023-10 with a suggested motion in the staff reports as well.
Do you mind bringing up the application so we can see the photos attached?
So this was, oops, excuse me.
Oh.
Sorry about that. So it's this front facade here. So it's these windows, painting here, replacing these doors, just removing all this, I guess, protruding elements they call it, the junk more or less from the walls, painting the structure, and removing that siding as well.
Do we know if there is block behind that T111? There is?
It has been removed.
Oh, it has?
Yes. Some of the work was done, we just interrupted when we became aware that we would be eligible for facade improvement. And then we had to go through the application process and the award process. And because we have other work going on at the property, we decided to resume when the rest is started.
Okay.
But yes, there are blocks. The exact same look that you can see right under the T111.
Mm-hmm. Comments?
No.
Mike, anything?
The only thing I was thinking when I was reading about removal of the wiring, etc., that it's completely removed down to the utility box, so that there's not a live wire underneath of the siding. That's the only thing I thought.
So this is a safety concern, I guess, to make sure that any wires that get removed is not an exposed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Have you
We're
had,
going to have to go through a very thorough inspection process with the application we have with the county, so,
It was just a thought.
yeah.
have you picked the light fixtures on the side of the building?
Yeah, we would like them to match the one across the street on the Firehouse Creamery, except for the color that we hope for
Okay.
bronze, and they are them in white. There are those like swan neck.
Gooseneck, yeah. But they're shielded bulbs, so you don't see the, okay, good.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay? Is there a motion?
Make a motion for reapproval of application 2023-10, originally approved by letter dated July 3rd, 2023, for various improvements to 7611 Main Street, namely the north-facing facade, for the renovations and improvements described in the application.
Great. Is there a second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. One thing I'll add to that is when you do your trim for your windows, the trim should be something different color than the wall face.
I
Right,
know
so-
looking for that too. If you go lower in the application, we mentioned that.
Okay.
We chose color palettes that have 3 complementary colors to try to do that.
Okay, great. All right, moving forward to second application, the same building, 2024-25 for 7611 Main Street.
You can see the block on that picture.
Oh yeah, you can see on the north facade where the siding was moved.
Oh, there you
Okay, so yeah, a lot of this I'll try to breeze through this because a lot of the info is basically the same. So again, it's the same building, 7611 Main Street. The applicant has requested HGC approval to complete the following changes assigned to the western facing facade of the structure. So again, removing the T111 siding and resurfacing the wall underneath, replacing existing windows, using the same style and the same composite material as the north facade. In this case, they're requesting to replace the garage door structure, and they mentioned that it's going to be bronze painted aluminum frame with 8 clear glass panels, so to allow natural light into the building. They want to repair the wooden wooden staircase, which is over here, and add an ADA wheelchair lift for accessibility. Replace the metal roof with a similar style metal roof, and then in this case they also requested to add a dormer to the roof of the building to improve the look and increase the usable space in the attic of the building. And they mentioned that the dormer material will match the new roof, and the additional windows on the dormer will match all other windows on the second story of the building there as well. And then again, same things that they requested that don't require HCC approval as the last one: removal of protruding elements, power washing, painting, and adding some flower pots and just making it look pretty. So quickly we'll go through just relevant information again. So removing the T111 siding is the same recommended recommendations in the HCC guidelines as a previous application. Again, same thing with the windows, using a similar style window and a composite material that's shown in the application. It's the same guidance as the previous application. Replacing the garage door. So again, even though this is a garage door, not a front door, it's still the same. Any door replacement for non-contributing buildings should just be compatible with the overall character of the facade in which they're located. Regarding the wooden staircase and ADA lift, so for non-contributing structures, stairs or porch structures should just be replaced so that it closely resembles the original in material, size, shape, color, and other distinguishing features. And then for the ADA lift, in the HCC guidelines, it explains that the Americans with Disabilities Act requires that historic buildings be as accessible as non-historic buildings to the greatest extent possible. And these readily achievable modifications must not threaten or destroy the historic significance of the structure. The roof, so painted metal roofs are common in the historic district, and a new roof using a replacement material that resembles the existing in size, orientation, color, reflectivity, or other defining characteristics may be used as per the HCC guidelines. And then I guess the biggest thing would be the new dormer structure on the western facing facade there. So the application mentions that the dormer will utilize German lap siding, which is common for historic homes and buildings in the area. And then for non-contributing buildings, the Historic District Commission can consider rear and side elevation dormers that are visible from public rights of way on a case-by-case basis. So you guys are welcome to, again, consider these. And then the new dormer should align with the historic style and shape of the building and appear secondary to the main roof shape. And then there were some distance from other walls and the ridge line that were listed out in the guidelines. So it recommends the new dormers be a minimum of 3.5 feet from gable walls, 1 foot below the ridge, and setback from the main wall. I think in this instance, looking at the application, the only one that might not be met here is 1 foot below the ridge, but given the size of this dormer, that's up to you guys to decide if that is if that is necessary. So again, HCC is being asked to determine if the requested alterations to 7611 Main Street are appropriate or suggest some alternative actions. And again, considering the non-contributing status of the building, staff feels that all requested items are consistent with HCC guidelines and recommends approval. And the HCC may consider if the dormer's distance from gable walls and roof ridge should follow the recommendations listed above. And then I included a suggested motion and a potential condition for the dormer location if you guys wanted to adhere to that. So a lot of the same stuff with a few different elements.
I have a couple of questions. So my first question is, these garage doors, are both of them part of this building? Are both of them being replaced?
Yeah, no, not the ones that could be considered loading dock. So the ones that touch the ground towards the very end.
So this one's being replaced?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the one we hope to bring light in the building by upgrading those 8 glass panels.
So what does the existing one look like?
So it's like just brown.
No, the one that they're keeping, the one on the right there.
The one that we're keeping, you cannot see it on that picture, is behind the
The same exactly.
Does it look? I think it looks similar to this one, right?
Yeah, it's the same color, same material, it's just bigger and has no windows on it.
So you want to use full glass here, clear, transparent glass.
Mhm.
I think, so what is gonna be behind that, just for our knowledge base, what's gonna be behind that door? What is that space, office space?
No, it's a commercial space, we hope for retail. Retail slash community center type of use.
But it's gonna be an operational door still?
Yes,
You know, my gut tells me you wanna do some light frosting or something on there, just so that security reasons alone, potentially. But it could be treated as a window then afterwards.
the only goal is to bring some extra light, so the frosting is not a problem at all if you think that would be more suitable.
What do you guys think? I'm concerned with the two different garage doors in the same elevation competing with the style. That's my first comment. The second comment is, we're showing a shed dormer, that's called a shed dormer. And there's no shed dormers really in Sykesville. I walked around and looked, they're all gable dormers. It's not, so keeping in with the historic district, I understand the reason for the shed dormer in this location, and you, as you scroll further down, I think there's some examples of dormers located within Sykesville, but these are all gable dormers. And then my other comment is, I think German lap siding is kind of out of place here since it's not used anywhere else in the building, and I would probably recommend using the cedar shingle
The article
on the sides
makes sense.
so it matches the regular gable. What do you guys think?
The goal for those dormers is,
And if you look at our guidelines, when they're describing dormers, they call out the dormers are smaller than the primary windows. Right now, they're the exact same size as the windows that are adjacent to it. And I understand they're on the same level, which kind of makes sense. So they're a dormer in some sense, but according to our guidelines, it says smaller in scale. So they're not a roof dormer to the main building, because I feel as though the garage portion is like an addition to the main building.
Yeah, but, I mean, the roof slope doesn't really exist anywhere else there as well. I think that, I can understand why they have it that way,
They're trying to get space, is what they're trying to do.
because they don't want to break it up into two separates.
light, aeration, egress.
So one thing I suggest is that we get samples for the metal roofing that you intend to use. And have you selected a color yet that you would use? Would it match the primary roof?
Yeah, we're trying to do.
So a
everything
darker
match.
color?
Yes.
And you're painting the walls blue? Is that my understanding? You're doing blue and lighter blue?
We will use the same palette, yes.
With
The
brown.
palette has blue, gold, and I can't remember the exact name of the last color.
Okay, so right now, the windows you're replacing, let's talk about the windows. You're replacing all the windows on the second story as well?
Mm-hmm.
What color windows are they gonna be?
They will be pinky, so they'll start by being white.
Okay. But does it make sense that the garage door is white and not bronze? Like, what's gonna be bronze on that building after you're done replacing the roof? There probably won't be anything bronze, correct?
I will be leaving that to the design committee.
It just seems out of place if you're replacing the windows on the second floor and they're gonna be painted white, the roof's gonna be replaced for a metal panel. I don't see anything else that's bronze, so I would think that you would wanna match either the windows or the storefront. Cause it looks like they're storefront windows on the lower level, I can't really see.
The lower level one are,
They look like aluminum
they're
storefront.
aluminum and they're not painted.
What do you guys think? And then,
Do
why,
we, I mean, do we have a say in it?
the color, we don't have a say in the color, we can give a suggestion on the color,
Right.
but we don't have a say in the color. So when it comes to the lift,
Yeah, I had a question, that ramp doesn't support the ADA? Isn't there a ramp there currently?
yeah,
Yes, but there will be different users of those entrances, and we want, as per HDC guideline, make sure that the building is fully accessible to all.
They're splitting up the interior building into different pieces, so it's making sure all sections are equally accessible.
But there won't be any connection between one space and the other?
Could be, but for fire protection, we have to follow what the county has been advising, which is, I believe, is a certain thickness of drywall, one or two burners.
Firewalls, separated space.
And then we would have to add metal door, so I would have to go back to the plan, but the back entrance feeds the very back space and the center space. When you go up that staircase and open the door, you have a hallway that feeds the middle space, and then another door that feeds the back space. So by modifying that entrance, we make sure that those two spaces are fully ADA accessible. Also, that's information that I'm not sure you need, but I will tell you anyways, to make this work in terms of space, we're going to have to move the steps to the side, and the lift will be where the steps are,
where are the steps going?
to the side,
So-
yes.
So the steps would be here. and
Oh,
then the
so they'll be facing forward then, the steps. Is that gonna impede? No.
No, I think they have you have like a wall shown in that elevation covering where the steps going down, is that what I'm looking at?
So they're just,
So the steps going that way.
so I'd like to see where the lift is in plan, because it looks like it's in front of the stair.
So where the lift is shown here is where the stairs currently exist.
Yes.
Yes.
So they're gonna move the stairs to be,
I could see the edge of the stair sticking out right there. See it?
I think that's just
I
part
don't
of
think
the, I
that's
think
the
that's just part of the
edge of the stairs.
illustration.
So the stairs are coming up the opposite direction?
I will imagine it moving from the width of the platform itself and come to the side.
Like where his hand is?
So it would be like right here.
I'm just thinking, the lift is gonna be against the building, correct? And then the platform comes up and is level with the top of the landing.
Correct.
So that means the stair has to be on the opposite direction because you have to be level with the landing. You can't be blocking the stair with your lift.
The lift will not be blocking the stairs.
But am I making sense here? It's not that wide. If you look at the elevation pictures,
Right, but are they extending it out and then bringing the stair?
can you scroll up
Out of it?
to the,
So.
Maybe I'm not saying it, I'm probably not saying it right.
yeah, so
The lift's gonna be.
would the lift be where the dumpster's sitting in this
No.
picture?
The stairs will be where the dumpster
Okay.
are.
And the lift is gonna be where the
So they're
stairs are.
extending it out,
Oh.
putting the lift where the
And
stairs
then-
are, and then putting the landing coming out to meet where the stairs
Absolutely,
are out
yes.
proud. Do you have enough space there, or are you going
Yes.
into the
Right away.
right of way?
No, we are,
Yeah, that'll still, I can attest by looking at the site plan, that'll still be on their, well within their property line if they put the stairs there.
It's not purpose, I guess.
And then the lift would be, yeah, right there.
I think you're gonna want a bollard at the end there. My opinion. You know what a bollard is? A bollard,
Like down here.
like a vehicle protection,
near
yeah,
the drive.
oh, okay, yeah.
just in front of the stair. So when people are coming down the stairs and there's some car coming by.
Maybe one day that area will be completely pedestrian.
One would hope. Just from my insight, those lifts are a pain.
Yes, I have been learning as much about lifts that I have been learning about windows. And
What do our guidelines say about lifts in public view?
It doesn't mention anything about in public view, it's just, basically what was in the staff report saying that, the modification shouldn't threaten or destroy the historic significance of the structure, was the only real guidance it gave on, ADA accessibility.
So are you using that garage door? Is that to be used for like
Which one?
This one.
that one there?
Potentially,
Okay, so you don't wanna take a ramp out?
exactly, this is why the whole, if you imagine a food truck being able to park as close as possible from the building and the garage door lifting, let's say there's activity going there on an evening, that would be an option of bringing food to it and lifting another local business.
Is there any option of putting the lift anywhere else so it's not in public view, like around the corner or
And it
something?
would actually block the, it would be too close to the loading dock door.
Architects have a real hard time looking at those.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to put them on new construction.
It's a balance between use and aesthetic, but we will definitely make an effort on dressing it up. And if you Google it, there are several suggestions of projects that could make it actually very pretty.
Occupant counts gotta be really low in there.
We managed to make cigarette receptacle pretty, so I'm not too worried about it.
What comments do you guys have?
The only question I had was, the building here with the turquoise, not awnings, but,
The shutters?
right, and that's the sign in between the two. I'm assuming that's gonna go.
Yeah, it actually already went because it was so damaged that it's starting, and also it was not accurate.
Isn't very pretty either.
Yes, yeah, it got burned by the sun so fast. And the blue shutter are painted on the wall there. So that's going to be easy to modify.
Yeah, I assume whatever commercial elements go in there will come back for signage when that gets determined.
And we have grant application out to other institutions for murals to try
Oh.
to beautify the building. Did not hear back just yet.
You wanna go back to the gabled versus shed?
Sure.
I mean, you would have to, if you wanted to go gabled, you have to scale that down, right? And then hold them to below the ridge line. Or would you say the guidelines at a foot?
I'm just putting my detail hat on here. It doesn't look like there's 8 inches from the bottom of the window to where it needs to be flashed.
He's trying to tell you about waterproofing.
So, I mean, I don't know.
Might be.
What are your guys' thoughts on the gable versus the shed dormers? I mean, I understand their reasoning. They want to gain more space in the upper level. And this is the only way they can really accommodate it, given the roof pitch that they have as well.
As a civilian, non-professional, not in the business, it looks okay to me.
Yeah.
But that's an untrained eye.
I think if you had to do gable dormers properly, it wouldn't give you any space and wouldn't really function much.
No, you'd have to put 2 of them in and then it would just divide up the room.
Yeah, it won't do much. So, for
Okay, so I think there's quite a few things on the motion here. First is eliminating the German lap siding on the gable and reutilizing the cedar shake or whatever shingle siding there is on the original gable. A suggestion of not using dark bronze garage door potentially, maybe using white or silver or something that matches the other window facade. Just a suggestion, not a requirement. we would like to see what metal roofing you're using. I mean, I'd like to see
Contracts will say the same material.
corrugated. Cause it's corrugated now.
Yeah, if that's what it is now.
Because actually that was in our budget more than any other version, so I was very happy when they said that they could use what's currently there.
Okay.
Wait, were you using that? The reusing,
I thought you said your new roof.
Yeah, it is
Same,
full of
different.
holes. And,
oh, okay.
But same material.
The same
Yeah.
material,
Yeah.
okay, I misunderstood.
you know, you kind of, it is really, really damaged.
I'd like to see concealed fasteners on the roof, and don't see the fasteners. That's one thing you can tell your sub or contractor, because a lot of times they'll just use pop rivets and with washers and attach it to the roof, and then you see all these
Okay.
circles. So I'd like to see just roof and no attachments. What about the windows? So do you know what manufacturer window you're using, or are you gonna do a 2/2 window? Right now it's a 6/6.
So that's the question about the windows. So 6/6 is what is currently there.
Mm-hmm.
I know that 2/2 and 4/4 are more common on Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
So if the recommendation is to switch from one type to the other, one style, sorry, to the other, it's completely okay with us. We just didn't know if it would be more appropriate to try to stick with what's currently there, or to try to bring some cohesion by trying to use a style that's more common on Main Street. So that's, please guide us on that. Because there's also the size of the pane that you have to take in account. And when they have the 6/6 there, I think they're closer in size for the pane size that you would see on Main Street, but there are more lines. So I honestly do not know what we should do. So again, this is why I'm here.
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing 2/2 or 4/4.
I would probably go 4/4, I think 2/2 would be a
Too
little
much.
bit.
So 4/4 would be our recommendation for those windows.
Sounds good.
Of course, I don't know who the manufacturer is, so I don't know what we're approving. You know?
So we don't have to do window clads, so we're probably going to do the composite clads and work on the trim.
Okay.
Because that's the most cost-effective and prettiest way of doing it.
So can you submit to us the window manufacturer you plan on using, a sample of the roofing provided to us with the color, so we can get a look at that as well. A sample of the garage door frame, it just could be a color chip or material palette. And anything else?
Do you have anything to say? You were discussing the glass door, the frost.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we have jurisdiction on that, but I would just give a suggestion of you could do a gradient film or something, maybe so that the top lights are clear, so you get more light in, but just for privacy reasons and security alone, I would think you want not clear in that location potentially. Not to mention, is that south facing?
Are you gonna have to put a, like if there's, do you have to put a rail or something?
You're gonna have, yes,
They're gonna make you put something
fall
there.
protection.
Fall protection, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. You're putting that on the
Inside?
inside or the outside?
That I
Cause if it's
don't
all
know.
glass.
That's something we talked about. I don't know if it should be inside or outside.
I think the county inspectors will probably advise on
Yes.
that.
It was not in the
That's fine.
comment I received so far, so, but, we would have been proactive anyways, because it would be liable.
Well, let me ask you this, do you have to have an operational garage door in this location?
We don't have to. I'm just always a big fan not to create situations that would prevent us to do something we have not planned or thought about just yet.
Matt brings up a good logic and sense is they're gonna require you to put a rail across the front of the thing, which is, it's not gonna look right, it's gonna look very odd.
especially if there's all glass behind it, like.
Yeah, it's gonna be something we would definitely not approve, to have sort of a railing. You know what a Juliet balcony is?
Mhm.
That's what they do on Juliet balconies, they put the rail on the outside of the building. That's what they're gonna make you do on this, unless you have some sort of rail on the inside, which also would block the light going into the building. So what you could do is you could replace it with like a storefront that replicates a garage door, and with maybe some hopper windows or something that open up to let air in. It would have the look of a garage door, but then it would eliminate the need for fall protection.
That's a good idea.
And then you're getting your light, you're getting the interaction from outside in without it looking a little bit aftermarket.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be nice to have, if it was a grade, I'd say go for it, put the glass door in there, but since
Right,
it's
definitely.
over 30, it looks like over 33 inches,
Yeah,
it's,
they're gonna make you kind of block it up as much as you can.
yeah.
So it's not usable.
And what sort of door are you putting on the entrance to that suite? The silver door we're seeing there?
The one on the facade,
Yes.
the same type of, commercial door.
So aluminum storefront, yeah. Okay. So whoever your guy's doing that is, could give you a price for doing a garage door in that configuration that I told you about.
It's the same person doing it.
And he could make each of those glass windows open if you wanted to.
Yeah, okay.
It wouldn't be that much different in cost, I wouldn't imagine, than an all glass.
Maybe. Garage doors, $1,600 maybe. 2,000. Storefront. Anyway, just something we,
I think I missed one of the things you wanted a sample of the roof, a sample, paint chip of the garage door, the
Well,
manufacturer.
if you're not doing the garage door and you're gonna go to storefront, you don't need to provide a
Okay.
sample. We know what that is.
Okay,
But I would suggest that whatever that garage, we're calling it the garage door, if it's storefront, matches your man door to the right, right? If it's clear anodized, which is a silver finish, it matches that finish as well. I would not put bronze, just my 2 cents. And then if you could come back to us and let us know who the manufacturer of the window is.
okay,
And then 4/4 would be our recommendation for those windows.
okay.
Anything else? Did I forget? You guys wanna add? Okay, who wants to make this motion? Or is there a motion? How's that?
Yeah, try it.
I took some notes if you want me to help you along the way on the recommendation.
It's 2024-25.
2020. I make a motion to approve 2024-25 pending the comments suggested being roof sample material.
Roof sample material, window manufacturer,
Yep, window manufacturer.
also cedar shingles on the dormer.
Placing the dormer material to a cedar to match what's gonna be on the building. And then I think that was all that we really needed.
One last thing, you had mentioned boral on your application. Is that for the trim? For the windows? How are you using boral?
I would have to open it.
Is that for the casings?
For the casing of the window, I assume.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Alright, we didn't touch on that, but that's fine. Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
So I have to bring a piece of the roof?
Just a little sample.
You can drop it off.
Just a piece of the metal, whatever you're using.
Okay.
And if they have like a brochure or something with the product, so we can see how it's fastened, because I was telling you about the exposed fasteners. Is there any staff report, Kevin?
You gonna piss them off?
I was gonna say, if you don't have if Tim has any of that, if you wanna have him drop it off.
Yes,
Um,
so my question to you for question of timing. When he provides those things, how long do we need to hear back if we can move forward or?
Do we have to have another meeting for, no? Just, as soon as you can get it to us, we'll look at it.
Awesome,
Yeah.
thank you.
And if I'm not around, you guys can check it out.
That's the mechanism brochure. Okay.
Alright. No additional, staff reports
Okay,
or information to provide this evening.
all right, if there's no other comments, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you. One thing.